Hey everyone, welcome back to Nomadic Nutrition. Welcome to the second installment of vitamins and minerals. If for some reason you missed the first part, I'll leave it in the link down below. Otherwise, let's hop right in. Today we'll be talking about minerals. Minerals can be classified as either a micro or macro mineral, depending on how much you need in your body. Let's start with macro minerals. There are 5 macro minerals. Let's start with calcium. Calcium is responsible for building and maintaining bones and teeth. It helps in blood clotting, the transmission of nerve impulses, and the regulation of the heart's rhythm. Deficiency in calcium can cause osteoporosis. If one does not eat enough calcium-containing foods, the body will remove calcium from the bones. Ideally, the calcium that's borrowed from the bones will be replaced at a later point, but this doesn't always happen. Most importantly, this payback can't simply be accomplished by eating more calcium, which is why it's so important to maintain good levels in your body throughout your lifetime. Remember that you need vitamin D to absorb calcium. Sources of calcium include dairy, fortified milks, fortified juices, leafy green vegetables, tofu, soybeans, molasses, sardines, okra, oranges, figs, and sesame seeds. Next, we have phosphorus. Phosphorus makes up 1% of a person's total body weight. It is the second most abundant mineral in the body and is present in every cell. The main function of phosphorus is in the formation of bones and teeth. Phosphorus also helps maintain normal acid-base balance, supports growth, and is involved with the storage and use of energy. Phosphorus is found in high amounts in protein foods, such as dairy and meat products, fish, beans, lentils and nuts, and grains, especially whole grains, provide phosphorus. Next, we have potassium. Potassium is an essential mineral needed by all tissues in the body. Its main role is to help maintain normal levels of fluid inside of our cells. It is sometimes referred to as an electrolyte because it carries a small electrical charge that activates various cell and nerve functions. Potassium also helps muscles to contract and supports normal blood pressure. Sources of potassium include dried fruits, beans, lentils, sweet potatoes, regular potatoes, winter squash, spinach, broccoli, avocado, bananas, cantaloupe, oranges, coconut water, tomatoes, dairy and plant milks, yogurt, and cashews. Next up, magnesium. Magnesium plays an important role in assisting more than 300 enzymes to carry out various chemical reactions in the body. For example, building proteins and strong bones, regulating blood sugar, blood pressure, and muscle and nerve functions. Sources of magnesium include almonds, peanuts, cashews, pumpkin seeds, peanut butter, beans, soybeans, soy milk, cooked spinach, Swiss chard, brown rice, oatmeal, salmon, banana, raisins, and dark chocolate of at least 70%. Next up is sodium chloride, also known as salt. It makes up about 40% sodium and 60% chloride. Salt flavors food and is used as a binder and stabilizer. It's also a food preservative. The human body requires a small amount of sodium to conduct nerve pulses, contract and relax muscles, and maintain the proper balance of water and minerals. It is estimated that we need about 500 milligrams of sodium daily for these vital functions, but too much sodium in the diet can lead to high blood pressure, heart disease, and stroke. It can also cause calcium losses, some of which may be pulled from bone. Most Americans consume at least 1.5 teaspoons of salt per day, or about 3,400 milligrams of sodium, which contains far more than our bodies need. Salt naturally is found in seawater and underground rock formations, but the majority of our sodium intake comes from heavily processed and junk foods. To avoid this, cook at home using whole foods, item containing 1 ingredient. So those are the 5 macro minerals. What do you think? Pretty interesting stuff, right? Especially when you consider the relationship between vitamins and minerals. Next, we'll talk about microminerals, otherwise known as trace minerals. These are present in smaller amounts in the body, but are equally as important. Are you ready to learn about them? Okay, let's go. Let's start with iron. Iron is an important micromineral that helps maintain healthy blood. It creates red blood cells that carry oxygen all throughout the body. Iron from food comes in two forms, heme and non-heme. Heme is better absorbed by the body than non-heme and is only found in animal flesh. Those who do not eat animals can still get adequate amounts of iron from plant sources. This form of iron is called non-heme. Certain factors can improve or inhibit the absorption of non-heme iron. Vitamin C and heme iron taken at the same meal can improve the absorption of non-heme iron. Bran fiber, large amounts of calcium, particularly from supplements, and plant substances like phytates and tannins can inhibit the absorption of non-heme iron. Good plant sources of iron include lentils, chickpeas, beans, tofu, cashew nuts, chia seeds, ground linseed, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, kale, dried apricots and figs, raisins, quinoa, and fortified breakfast cereal. Make sure you check the labels. A lack of iron is called iron deficiency anemia and affects about 4 to 5 million Americans on a yearly basis. Iron deficiency anemia is the most common nutritional deficiency worldwide, causing extreme fatigue and lightheadedness. It affects all ages, and those among the highest at risk include children who are going through periods of rapid growth, the elderly, those with malabsorption issues, which we discussed in the first video, endurance athletes, women who are menstruating or pregnant, people receiving kidney dialysis, and those who don't consume animal flesh. Next up, we have zinc. Zinc is necessary for almost 100 enzymes to carry out vital chemical reactions. It is a major player in the creation of DNA, growth of cells, building proteins, healing damaged tissue, and supporting a healthy immune system. Because it helps cells to grow and multiply, adequate zinc is required during times of rapid growth, such as childhood, adolescence, and pregnancy. Zinc is also involved with the senses of taste and smell. Good sources of zinc include mushrooms, spinach, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, green peas, baked beans, cashews, fortified cereals, whole grains, oats, shellfish, beef, and poultry. Next, we have copper. Copper is found in all body tissues and plays a role in making red blood cells. Copper maintains nerve cells and the immune system. It also helps the body form collagen, absorb iron, and plays a role in energy production. Sources of copper include mushrooms, green leafy vegetables, barley, soybeans, tempeh, sunflower seeds, navy beans, garbanzo beans, cashews, molasses, and beef liver. Chromium. Chromium is important in the breakdown of fats and carbohydrates. It stimulates fatty acid and cholesterol synthesis. Chromium is important for brain function and aids in insulin action and glucose breakdown. Sources of chromium include lettuce, onions, tomatoes, whole grains, potatoes, mushrooms, oats, prunes, nuts, and brewer's yeast. Fluoride is the ionic form of the naturally occurring fluorine element. The anion increases the structural stability of teeth and bones. It also aids in the prevention of dental caries or cavities. Sources of fluoride include water, tea, tinned fish, and many dental products, if not most. Iodine. The body needs iodine to make thyroid hormones. These hormones control the body's metabolism, proper bone and brain development during pregnancy and infancy, and many other important functions. Iodine can be found in fish, seaweed, sea vegetables, dairy products, and iodized salt. Selenium is an essential component of various enzymes and proteins, called selenoproteins, that help to make DNA and protect against cell damage and infections. These proteins are also involved in reproduction and the metabolism of thyroid hormones. Sources of selenium include Brazil nuts, mushrooms, barley, salmon, whole grains, walnuts, and eggs. Manganese contributes to many bodily functions, including the metabolism of amino acids, cholesterol, glucose, and carbohydrates. It also plays a role in bone formation, blood clotting, and reducing inflammation. Sources of manganese include green leafy vegetables, berries, pineapple, lettuce, tempeh, oats, soybeans, spelt, brown rice, and garbanzo beans. Molybdenum. Molybdenum activates enzymes that break down harmful sulfides and prevent toxins from building up in the body. It can be found in high concentrations in legumes, grains, and organ meats. Remember, those at risk for deficiency include the elderly, alcoholics, endurance athletes, plant-only diets, and those with malabsorption disorders. If a plant-based diet is something you're interested in or maybe actively participate in, it's worth mentioning that these diets generally have higher levels of folic acid, vitamin C and E, potassium, and magnesium, though it also has a lower content of vitamins B12, D, calcium, and iron, as these generally come from animal sources. Keep this in mind as you make intentional food choices later on. Thank you again for joining me in today's lesson. Please sound off in the comments below so I can learn more about who you are and this growing community. That's all for now, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy eating, everyone!